How did someone cheat the military fitness test brilliantly? Private Jake Miller was a scrawny kid from Ohio who could barely do 10 push-ups when he enlisted. Problem was, he needed to pass his final PT test to graduate basic training, and he was nowhere close to meeting standards. 2 weeks before the test, Jake was panicking. He'd been recycled once already for fitness failure. Another fail meant getting kicked out of the Army entirely. His drill sergeant, Staff Sergeant Davis, had made it clear there were no more chances. "Miller, you're pathetic," Davis would say during morning PT. "My grandmother could outrun you and she's been dead for 15 years. Jake tried everything. Extra workouts, protein shakes, even hired a personal trainer with his signing bonus money. Nothing worked. He just wasn't built for military fitness standards. That's when he got desperate and came up with the most elaborate cheating scheme I've ever witnessed. Jake's plan started with his identical twin brother, John, who is a college athlete, cross-country runner, marathon times under 3 hours, could knock out 100 push-ups without breaking a sweat. The night before the PT test, John drove 8 hours from Ohio State University to Fort Benning. They switched places during evening chow. Jake hid in John's car while John took his place in the barracks. But here's where it gets genius. Jake had been studying the test procedures for weeks. He knew exactly how the scoring worked, who would be timing what events, and most importantly, the exact route for the 2-mile run. John memorized Jake's service number, learned his drill sergeant's name, practiced Jake's voice and mannerisms. They even studied photos of all the other recruits so John could blend in naturally. Morning of the test, John shows up in Jake's uniform, passes inspection perfectly, even answered when Davis called him worthless maggot Miller without flinching. The push-up event went flawlessly. John cranked out 70 perfect push-ups in 2 minutes. Davis actually looked impressed. "Maybe there's hope for you after all, Miller." Sit-ups were even easier. John maxed out at 80 repetitions. Other recruits started staring. This was the same guy who could barely do 20 the week before. Then came the 2-mile run. This is where Jake's planning really showed. John had memorized the entire course, knew every turn, every hill, every landmark. He finished in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Not just passing, but nearly maxing the score. Davis timed him personally. Couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Miller, what the hell did you eat for breakfast? Rocket fuel?" But John's performance was so dramatically improved that it started raising suspicions. Other drill sergeants began whispering. Davis ordered a retest the next day. That night, the twins switched back. Jake returned to the barracks while John drove back to college. Perfect execution, or so they thought. The retest was a disaster. Jake could barely finish half the push-ups he'd done the day before. His run time was 8 minutes slower. Davis knew something was wrong. "Miller, explain to me how you lost 40% of your fitness overnight." Jake tried claiming he was sick, had food poisoning, anything to explain the massive performance drop. Davis wasn't buying it. The investigation started immediately. Security footage from the base entrance showed John's car coming and going. Visitors' logs had no record of Jake signing anyone in, but the smoking gun was Jake's college transcript, which mentioned his twin brother's athletic achievements. Davis connected the dots within hours. Both brothers got arrested. Jake faced charges for fraud, conspiracy, and conduct unbecoming. John got charged as an accessory and banned from all military installations. Jake's court-martial was swift. Dishonorably discharged, lost all benefits, had to pay back his signing bonus plus penalties. The whole scheme cost him over $40,000. The irony? During his month of extra training while awaiting discharge, Jake actually got in decent shape. All that stress and punishment PT finally whipped him into military standards. His final fitness test, the one that didn't matter anymore, he passed legitimately. Davis just shook his head and said, "Too little, too late, Miller." Story became legendary at Fort Benning. They now photograph all recruits before PT tests and require ID checks at every event. The Miller Protocol, they call it. Jake works at a hardware store now. Still gets letters from the Army demanding payment for his fraudulent enlistment. His brother finished college but could never join ROTC because of his criminal record.